So Sam, I was wondering if you could tell me where the idea for The Whale came about and what it was like adapting it to a film as well.
Yeah, I started working on the play about 13 years ago now.
Okay.
And at the time I was teaching English. I was teaching expository writing to some freshmen in New Jersey. And I found myself as I was teaching this very rigorous course that was, very rigidly constructed. I found myself at points just begging them to write something honest. And so I started the play really wanting to write about an English teacher trying to connect to a young person. And then the story of the character, and I brought a lot of personal elements to it myself. And then when Darren approached me, this was about 10 years ago now, it was a really long journey, a 10-year-long, decade-long journey in making this play into a film. And I'm glad it took that long. Because we needed to do it the right way with the right person. And it took 10 years to find that person, and we found him.
That's good to hear. Brendan, so you've done some work with prosthetics before, Bedazzled, for example, but I believe this is the first film you've done where you're entirely in prosthetics for the production. What was that like for you?
Adrian Moreau created this, Canada's own, I should mention, with 3D modeling. And he skipped a step in the process of creating prosthetic looks for any actor without sculpting by hand and clay modeling through 3D printing, and then the more traditional forms of molding and pouring formulas to create the look. All in, it started off, the first test was 6 hours. We got it down to like 2.5. On the day, it just required a great deal of patience, and anytime I started to feel a little uncomfortable or that I wanted something, I just thought, well, this is a Charlie has to live all day long, and he doesn't have the ability to take these appliances off at the end of the day. It really let me know everything I needed to experience to play a man with that corporal being. This was a makeup that, unlike so many other bodysuits that have been used in films, of the ones, and I did research pretty widely, this one obeys gravity and physics. It was heavy, it was cumbersome, and that's all right. I might not be smart, but I'm strong, so I could do the work, and it let me feel like I could live him. And everything else I needed to know was there on the page, courtesy of Sam.
Mm-hmm. And what was the process like of working with Darren for both of you? I believe this was the first time for the both of you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is my first film, period. So it's all very, very new, and it's a pretty high bar to start with. I mean, Darren is, you mentioned earlier that he doesn't miss anything.
Yeah.
And working with him on the script, if there was like one moment where it was sort of like, oh, but the door is unlocked in this moment, so how is this person, like tiny things like that. Darren just had these.
Changes the scene, those details, right?
Yeah.
He sees everything.
He sees everything.
He said he would be, I would have been a baseball umpire if he wasn't a director.
Yeah.
He knows the call.
But I think that level of it raises everybody's game. When you know that he sees everything, it just, everybody kind of elevates. I felt that way on set, where like everybody just kind of.
I felt that way at like 6 o'clock in the morning. We would come in and inspect how's Charlie's eyes looking today, and he'd give notes to Adrian, and he'd go, oh, yeah, you're right. We drink a little more coffee and figure it out. But like he wouldn't shoot until everything was authentic. Mm-hmm. That made sense. That you could suspend belief and go into this world with him.
And my last question for the both of you is, what's next for you two?
Wow. I don't know. What do you got on board?
I got a play. I'm a theater kid. I got a revival of a play I wrote called The Bright New Boise that's going up in New York in the winter. And I got a new play called The Case for the Existence of God, which I'm hoping is going to continue on to. It premiered last summer. So, but then I don't know. I'm not sure.
Batgirl. Oh.
Here's how.
Did I just? I did, didn't I? Inside voice, outside voice.